think for a moment about the sheer amount of waiting we all do.
Hmm.
We wait for big life changes, certainly, but also, for the smaller things, a delayed email, a loved one arriving, even just for our morning coffee to brew.
It's woven into the fabric of our days, isn't it? So much waiting.
Absolutely.
Right.
But what if these periods of waiting weren't simply pauses in our lives, something we just have to get through? What if they held a deeper significance?
That's a really powerful way to frame it. What we're exploring today is this idea of hope that waits well.
Hope that waits well.
Yeah. It's more than just a passive holding pattern. It's about actively cultivating a confident expectation, a faithful stance when things take longer than we anticipate. It's a distinct way of engaging with those in-between times.
So it's not just crossing our fingers and hoping for the best, is it?
Not at all. Much deeper than that.
And this reminds me of something I once read, a passage in Romans chapter 8, verse 25. It says, "But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently."
Yes, that verse.
It so clearly articulates that connection, the inherent link between our hopes and the need for patience to see them realized.
Exactly. And that verse really sets the tone for our discussion today, I think. We
Right.
want to delve into what it truly means to wait well. How do hope and faith become our anchors during these periods of delay?
Okay.
And like you said earlier, we're not looking for quick fixes here, but maybe a deeper understanding of this fundamental aspect of the human experience.
Okay, so let's really unpack this idea then. Hope that waits well. What are the core pieces we need to understand?
Well, at its center is hope itself. But, this isn't just a vague wish. It's more like a confident expectation.
Confident expectation.
Yes, something rooted deeply in faith. It's a firm belief in something that hasn't yet come to fruition.
And then we have waiting well, he mentioned that. What makes that different from just, well, stalling or just putting up with it?
Right. Waiting well is an active form of trust. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't just stare at the ground hoping it grows.
No, you water it, tend to the soil.
Exactly. You trust the process, even when you don't see immediate growth. That's
Wow.
kind of like waiting well in action. It's choosing to believe in a better timing, perhaps God's timing, even when our own plans are delayed.
It's a deliberate choice then.
Yes, very much a choice. A choice to have faith that something good is still on its way, rather than just passively enduring or maybe even pretending everything is fine when, deep down, it isn't.
And patience seems absolutely crucial here. You mentioned Romans connecting hope and patience.
Inseparable, really. As that passage highlights, patience is the capacity to endure those delays without losing that fundamental faith, without giving up hope.
It's the staying power.
That's a good way to put it, the staying power that hope provides.
Now, you touched on this idea of a larger plan, a sense that there might be a right time for things. How does that fit in?
Well, for many people, waiting well involves a fundamental trust that there might be a bigger picture unfolding, a wisdom, perhaps, beyond our immediate understanding.
So, believing there might be a purpose in the delay itself.
Precisely. That there's maybe an optimal moment for things to align. Trusting that can be a really significant aspect of waiting well. It encourages us to see beyond our immediate frustration or impatience.
Okay, so it helps reframe things. Instead of seeing delays as just setbacks.
You see them as potentially purposeful pauses within a larger narrative.
Yes. And it feels like faith is the bedrock that supports all of this. You mentioned it with hope.
Absolutely. Faith is the very foundation upon which this hope that waits well is constructed.
Right.
It's the belief in something unseen, a trust in a higher power or a grander design, even when our present circumstances might suggest otherwise. Think of it like the foundation of a house.
You don't see it, but everything rests on it.
Exactly. It's what holds everything else up.
Waiting.
Yeah.
It's rarely comfortable, though, is it? It can feel like, well, I sometimes imagine standing still in the middle of a storm. You know something is coming, but you have no idea when. That image really captures that sense of unease for me.
It does. There's that natural human desire for resolution, for answers, and waiting can feel like a real loss of control.
Yeah, and that's where doubt and frustration can easily creep in, isn't it? Discouragement can feel quite overwhelming.
It certainly can. And there's a psychological aspect too, of course. We can experience a sense of, loss when our expectations aren't immediately met, and that uncertainty just amplifies the feeling.
But this is where the idea that waiting well is an act of faith becomes so powerful.
Yes, It's not just idly passing time, it's an active declaration of belief.
So it's like saying,
It's like saying, I continue to believe that something positive is still possible, even though I can't see it yet. I trust that there's more happening behind the scenes than I'm currently aware of.
and that suggests these in-between times aren't just empty spaces. There's a real potential for something to develop within us.
Absolutely. The waiting periods, though often challenging, honestly, they can be where we experience profound personal and even spiritual growth.
How so?
Well, the obstacles we encounter while waiting can cultivate resilience. They can deepen our faith. They can refine our character in ways we might never have anticipated if everything just happened instantly.
So by choosing to actively hope, you're not just enduring the delay.
You're actively building inner strength. That's a key takeaway, really, from facing uncertain timelines with faith.
It's also a comfort, I think, to remember that we don't wait alone.
That's so important.
That sense of connection, whether it's a belief in a divine presence or simply the support of a loving community, that can make a tremendous difference in navigating those long periods of waiting.
Absolutely. And to really bring these ideas home, let's look at some compelling real-world situations where this hope that waits well has been powerfully demonstrated.
Okay.
There was this really inspiring story of a woman in India. She was finally reunited with her fiancé in 2025, I believe, after years of pandemic-related delays. Years.
Wow, years. That's immense patience.
It really is. And her journey, it just highlighted the incredible strength that things like prayer, faith, and sheer emotional endurance can provide over a really prolonged waiting period.
And people notice that.
Oh, yes. The fact that her story resonated so widely online just speaks to the universal nature of this experience, I think, and the inspiration people find in seeing hope endure against the odds.
And then there was the other story, the cancer survivor in New York.
Mm.
Her experience really brought that Romans verse to life.
It did, didn't it? Her simple but profound statement, she said, "Hope helped me wait without breaking."
Without breaking, powerful.
It really encapsulates how hope can act as a source of strength, preventing us from being utterly overwhelmed during times of immense uncertainty and difficulty. It's a striking example of hope providing true resilience.
These stories truly underscore the idea that hope in waiting is never wasted. It's the foundation of transformation.
Exactly.
It's not solely about reaching the destination, the end of the waiting, is it? It
Uh,
seems it's fundamentally about the person we become during that journey of waiting.
Precisely. The act of hoping itself, the act of patiently persevering, these experiences shape us in really significant ways.
So for you, as you're listening to this, perhaps take a moment to consider what you might be waiting for in your own life right now.
Mm.
It could be something significant, or maybe something relatively minor, something you've been anticipating for a long time, or maybe something that has just recently emerged.
And perhaps a valuable question to reflect on is this: what are you waiting for today? And how might cultivating a deeper trust be shaping your heart while you wait?
Thinking about the potential for growth.
Yes, the potential for growth, the strengthening of faith, and just noticing the quiet presence of hope, even amidst the uncertainty.
So as we bring this together, the essential message really seems to be that hope that waits well.
Mm.
What is it at its core?
I think it's hope that trusts in promises, especially when answers are delayed.
Mm-hmm.
It's about maintaining that unwavering belief, that confidence, even when time seems to be moving so very slowly.
It really makes you consider that maybe waiting isn't just a pause in our lives. Maybe it's not just an interruption.
Perhaps it's a truly significant part of the journey itself.
A period where we can cultivate a deeper sense of trust and actually experience real personal growth, even when things feel uncertain and we just don't have the answers yet.
A time for shaping, not just waiting.